going on, YouTube? Woo. Give me half a second here. What's going on in the book? What's going on in the book? Woo. Okay, so today we're gonna have a quick little conversation. I've got a little bit of downtime here before I clear up this monstrosity of a mess that I've created in my room, because I generally don't have a lot of time to cook and clean up after myself, but I guess my routine and my scheduling is a little bit off, right? So a debate I had, well, not a debate, right? Like generally when somebody who's been on this earth for a longer period of time than I have says something, I usually just agree with it, right? But what did they do? They said they broke out their wallet and they showed me a small wad of 50s and said cash is king, right? When I was what was I discussing? I was discussing let's say we since we've turned into a dictatorship, right? Like when you suspend a election indefinitely, that's a dictatorship, right? Which and then I'll just a little off topic for a brief second there. What did I research yesterday with my friend there? No government has power indefinitely. Remember that, okay? That's in the constitutional rights or democratic rights. So we were talking about that. And we're saying, okay, so let's say in a couple of years here we're in a dictatorship where it doesn't matter if you're a lawyer or you're a judge or you're a engineer, architect, or you work at McDonald's. We all get 50 credits a month. Line up, get your loaf of bread, right? Like, because that's maybe where we're going here, right? If people don't stand up against this stuff, right? So I was saying, well, how about this? If that's the case, like, and we still all got cash in the closet, then why don't then we could all just still, just trade cash for services, or of course back in the day go and use the bartering system. Like me and GCDW Holdings, we talk about it all the time. Provide you some value, you provide me some value, I provide you some value, you teach me, right? So, reflecting on that conversation later on in the evening when I got home eventually and put my head on my pillow, I was thinking, cash is king. And I've heard that a lot, right? Like, I've heard that quite a bit in my life, right? Cash is king, right? My argument against that will always be that cash is not king. Cash is being printed off, printed, and handed out at such a substantial amount that if you have $100 bill, you really don't have $100. You got like $80, right? And it's probably even less than that now, right? So that means that cash is not king. What is king is credit. Credit is king. Borrowing power is king. Borrowing power is king. So what I'm saying in that, like, that's how our country and our society is based, right? It's the government borrows, prints money, borrows, right? The only way to win and to stay ahead is to be borrowing yourself, right? Borrow, right? The better your credit score is, the better borrowing power you have at lower interest rates, right? Remember, I will always say this, I'm not an expert on these things, right? I'm no expert. These are all a little bit of knowledge I've accumulated over the time, right? So, cash is not king, credit is king. Yes, cash is nice to have, 100%. But like I said in the beginning of this, right? At the rate that money's being printed off, called inflation, $100 bill in cash is worth like $80, right? Cryptos seem to be the way the world is going. I watched something the other day where it's the 7 leaders of the world, the UN or U7 or whatever, they're all talking about making, like this, all one world government and it being one currency that you trade, and it's a crypto one, right? Now, I tried to watch the whole video and to see what is this crypto, right? He's saying it's 40 cents, so I think he meant Doge, but like, I don't know, researching Doge seems to be risky, just like all of it seems risky, right? Like, who can buy a Bitcoin right now? I know some people can buy a Bitcoin 1,000%, but I don't know who that makes sense to. Buying a Bitcoin for 46 racks, buying a Bitcoin for $46,000, right? Like, I don't know, right? But now, so I was trying to watch this video about the 7 leaders of the world, U7, and the one cryptocurrency, and this person has an in, and that's it. But the video just kept going on and on and on, and I'm like, are you gonna tell me the currency so I can buy it or what? Like, what's the matter for you? Like, what's the matter for this video? And I just was like, whatever. So long story short, I know, if you know a youngster who's on his way to live the Canadian dream or make moves in the world, always make sure you tell them that cash is not king, credit is king, borrowing power is king. That's how our society's ran, off borrowing power, right? Your credit score, your credit. Never get a cell phone if you can't pay for it. Don't get anything on a I'll pay later if you can't pay for it, right? And that's what the goal is, right? Share the knowledge that I'm accumulating, right? That's why I've been doing this at the end of the day. So new week. Another thing that I'm gonna suggest for people to do, which has been working for me, is keep a regular journal, right? And always reflect on what made you feel upset, what made you feel potentially angry, all those things. Because if you can journal that and you can pinpoint those circumstances in your day, then you know what's happening that's making you act out of emotion. And if you can pinpoint that, that means you can work on it, right? At the end of the day, if you can't work on yourself, sorry, if you can't help yourself, you can't help anybody else. Just like if you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody else, etc., etc., etc. Got to keep this short for the youngsters that might be watching. Today they just like to skim, 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 skim. Anyway, have a great day. Get ready for your week. It's go time. It's not slow time. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go.